All right, welcome back to the Grace Family Love Podcast. We are Joe and Vanessa back with you again for episode number 30. Man,
30.
Yeah, we're getting there. Slowly but surely, we're racking up the episodes, and we just want to thank all of you guys for all of your love and support.
Yes.
It's definitely a blessing to be a part of this, and it's even more of a blessing to hear from you guys the way that some of the things that we've talked about have impacted you, inspired you, and then even just getting some of the prayer back towards our way.
Yeah, and it's been really nice.
That's really nice. So thank you guys for all your support. We appreciate it.
Yeah, so if you're wondering why I'm in a hoodie and a sweater and I sound like I have a frog in my throat, I'm a little bit under the weather. We'll just leave it like that. But we wanted to make sure to hop on here and just give our support. And, obviously when you're not feeling well, you're just kind of laying there like, So if you're just hearing this, I'm just happy because you don't got to look at our faces right now. But
that was good.
But as for the most part, I was just telling God, like, I wish that, we can continue on and do things where we're constantly like just giving advice or sharing things that can be productive. But for some reason, life just keeps happening and life keeps, just where you just want like that extra teach me good habits stuff, you get discouraged because life happens. So God reminded me of that, and he put this verse in my heart that says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understandings. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight. It's in Proverbs 3:5. So if you think about everything that's going on right now, like everything with COVID, everything with the election and just things happening, like where people, it makes me laugh because people are just like, 2021's here. Like, like instantly, like magically it's just going to change or something. And then more stuff happened and then they're just like, I'm having anxiety. Oh my God. And the thing is, it's crazy, but it's things that you don't understand. You don't understand what is going on. It's hard to kind of take at heart being in the situation, seeing loved ones sick, seeing people in the hospital in and out, seeing what's happening in the world, the news, social media, how it magnifies the bad news. It's just overwhelming. So God wanted to just make sure to remind you that when you just focus, and I made a video the other day on Facebook or Instagram, I don't remember, but the best way that I can say is what are the things that the horses have? Like when
the blinders,
when you have blinders, you're kind of just focused on one thing. Not that the other stuff doesn't exist, but you're focused on one thing. So if you focus on having the relationship with God and just seeking his presence, whether you understand what's going on in your life or not, God's going to direct your path, and he's going to make everything, even the bad situations, turn into something good. You might not understand it now, but that's your future. That's what it's written down. So you can trust and have peace in that. Now, how do you do that? You want to explain to them, how do they do that?
Well, here's how I do it. Okay. And this is a verse that hits me slightly differently because I usually try to be more like in my head where I'm logistics. I'm about analyzing. I like to look at it from a perspective that's non-emotional, but I like 2 + 2 = 4 for me, right? And so I understand that. I know that if I have 2 and 2, the result is going to be 4. If I have 3 and 1, the result is going to be 4. So there might be different ways to get to a certain outcome, but I like knowing that there are possibilities that are in my mind, tangible, that I can see. And so when stuff is happening, like Vanessa was saying, it's so far beyond me. Like, even in my best attempt to try to understand things, it's so far beyond my capability, and it can be exhausting. It can be frustrating. Imagine trying to, respond to everybody's, I guess, opinion on social media, right? It's never ending, or some people would say it's like a dumpster fire. It just, you gotta let it burn. You trying to get involved, you're only going to get caught up in a mess. So because of all of this, I can't try to reason through it all. I can't understand it all. It's beyond me. It's impossible for me to make sense of everything. Because of that, I turn to God. I don't understand the outcome of a lot of things. I don't understand why certain people get sick and some people don't. I don't understand why a lot of things happen the way they do in the world. But this is what I do know. When I turn to God, when I read, when I pray, when I'm, right now we're doing a fast, when I'm in church, when I study, those kinds of things, it diverts my attention back to God. And in doing so, he teaches me things like this: to trust in the Lord with all my heart and lean not on my own understanding. When I'm able to do that, it frees me from the responsibility of having to know everything about everything.
Yeah, figuring it out.
Yeah, it frees me from the responsibility of having to figure it out, to know what is what. And not having that burden on me that I put on myself, it's a huge blessing for me, because that sometimes can be a cause of anxiety or stress.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm able to, like verse 6 says, in all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. So here it is, right? This life, it feels a lot like a winding road. It feels a lot like ups and downs. It feels a lot like there are turns to which we can't see on the other side. We can't see what's happening next until we turn the corner. But we can't forget, just because we only see to the corner, we can't forget that God is around the corner.
Yeah.
God is ahead of us. God is behind us. God is with us. Yeah. Because of that, we can trust and lean on him to have responsibility for the outcome. The outcome is in his hands when we put it in his hands.
Yeah.
When we say, okay, God, I don't understand. Therefore, I will trust in you that somehow, some way, all of this is going to work out for my good. God, I don't understand. Therefore, I trust in you to make sure that somehow, some way in the end, that my family and I are going to be okay. God, I don't get it. I don't see how this is going to turn out for my good. Therefore, I leave it in your hands to make sure we have what we need. You are my provider. You are my caretaker. You are my healer. Whatever it is that you need, God is that for us. So I'm now free from having to understand it myself. Now I can, doesn't it make me exempt from responsibility of being a good person, a good human being, by trying to live justly and make peace with people and, do what's right and stand up for what's right. It doesn't free me from that responsibility. But what that does is when I live by what God is saying is right and just, then he's responsible for the outcome. Does that make sense?
No, it does. And, like you can say, but you guys might not understand what we're going through. So he said a word, he said, lean on me. So I don't know if you guys were listening to the podcast. I think it was the one before or the one before that, but I was mentioning that I was supposed to have surgery on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So, we're very quick. Like Joe said, 1 + 1 = 2, we think that, okay, if this happens and this is going to happen and then this is going to happen. And sometimes God doesn't allow things, or there's things that are not happening, and they're just like, but why? But this was going to work, but this, and you just kind of start wanting to fix everything on your own when you should just be being patient and leaning on him and trusting. So we're not asking you to do something that we're not doing. As we were getting ready for the surgery, I had a couple of calls with the doctors, and they were like, okay, well, just FYI, the recovery is going to be insanely painful. Not only that, but because of how swollen you are, can be possible that we can have severe nerve damage. And not only that, but you might not even, it might not even help you at all. So, we could either just wait, and I kept hearing it from different places, like, wait. And I'm just like, in my mind, I'm like, no, I just want to do it tomorrow, and I just kept hearing wait. So, I was praying about it, and, God spoke to me, and those are the words that he said is just lean on me. And one of the visions that I had in my head is that, God Jesus was mortal just like us. He suffered just like us. He went through a lot of pain just like us. And he wasn't exempt from that either. And however, he did have that relationship with God that he was able to just lean on his Father and say, you know what, I don't know what's going on. I'm not excited about what's happening to me right now or what's going to happen, but I trust you. And I will focus on that. And when you're able to do that, you know, and just be able to submerge yourself, he said, like, it doesn't make us exempt from still focusing on what we got to do. We still got to do everything we got to do every day, daily, you know, but if we can just give God the responsibility to be there for us, and us take care of our responsibility as being there for each other, for our children, for our neighbor, you know, to just be able to be encouraging and loving and being able to show up and not just disappear into the background with fear and anxiety and depression because we just don't want to be a part of everything that's going on. We don't really have a choice. This is where we live. We are not of this world, but we are in this world. Yeah. So we have to live here. We have to go through the pain of sicknesses and death and heartache and pain. It's part of life. What about if somebody told you, like, okay, if you don't go through those things, then you can't live? What would you say? Oh, it's okay. I don't want to live. Like, no, it's part of life. Now, how we deal with it is just right there. It's just trusting in God, knowing that he's already showing up, knowing that he already paved the way, knowing that the future at the end of that windy road is full of hope. It is full of great plans that he has for you, for us, you know?
So sometimes people ask, you know, what do I even do? And I guess this is kind of a recipe for what to do when you don't know what to do. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's okay to admit that you don't know. Yeah. Right? In job interviews, at work, you know, a lot of people try to steer away from not knowing the answer. But if you know everything, which some people do think they know everything, then you're in a way saying that there's nothing to be learned, right? You know everything in life, and nobody likes to know it all. Nobody. So what I would offer is that it's okay not to know. It's okay not to know everything. It's okay not to understand. It's in those moments that you realize that it's okay to not know. It's okay to not understand, that you are open for growth. Mm-hmm. You're open for input. You're open for understanding. And so this is a perfect opportunity to come to God in prayer and in an honest prayer. Not, you know, don't try to make it sound pretty. Don't try to use words that you never use in your normal conversation anyway. Just be 100% completely honest. And here's the thing. God is bigger than our issues. God is bigger and greater than our problems and our shortcomings. God is so good and so great that he is okay with your doubt. Mm-hmm. He's okay with your questions. He's okay with you not understanding and wanting to have an answer. He's okay with you even asking, you know, and questioning why things are the way they are. And it's okay to ask. And it's kind of like, imagine if we had that fairy tale type of father relationship where every question that you could ever have, you could go to your dad and you could say, Dad, why is it the way it is? Right? Not like how like we do it. Like, why? Because I said so. But why? Quit asking questions. If you ask why one more time, we're turning this car around or whatever, right? It's not like that. He can hear your question over and over and over again and not get tired of having a relationship with you. So if you need that, if you're in a place where you just at the end of your rope, you don't know where to turn, you don't know which direction to go next, you're tired of just all the mess and all the noise, just take a moment to strip back all the noise, strip back all the distractions. Find a place at home, whether it's in the closet, whether it's in your room or whatever, and just put on a playlist of songs related to worship.
If you don't know, let us know. We love, that's our thing, like worship playlists are our thing. So if you need some help with that, message us. We can send you a playlist on Spotify, or even just a couple of words. He reminded me of a song. If you do have a chance, listen to the song called Dear God. It's by
Corey Asbury.
It's a really good song. And I think
I'll put a link in the description below.
Yeah. And I think that if you do what he's asking and just kind of, you know, like after you're done listening to the podcast, you know, put that song on, One of the things that somebody was telling me is like, you know what, I feel bad because I'm just doubting all the time. I feel bad because I don't feel good enough, because I feel like I should be better than this. I should have a better attitude than this, and I don't. And the thing is about that is that like Satan has a really good way of putting guilt on us already when we're having a hard time. He's great at that. And what I mean by that is that he's exceeding perfection from you when God says, like, that's why I sent my son Jesus to die for you, so he can cover you and he has grace over you. Amen. So God sees you as this perfect child. Like he sees you at this amazing, like just beautiful thing. So when you hear those voices saying you're not good enough, you're not praying hard enough, you're not doing the right thing, you're not, like when you hear all these negative voices, just know like they're not from God. They don't come from him, you know, and Satan has a good way of keeping us in this mentality of where we just feel so heavy and not good enough that it just gives us to push us away. So we won't be closer to God, because the more guilty you feel, the more heavy you feel, the more you pull away. You know, it's like if you're trying to hide away from God, like he doesn't know things. He knows everything, and he yet accepts you and loves you just the way you are.
So please make time for that.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there's really nothing more that I think we could say that would be helpful, because really that time in prayer is what we all need.
Yeah.
That time of just quieting the noise, being okay with not having the answers. You know, maybe you're a mom and you're just stressed out beyond belief, and you just need a moment with no kids, no husband to have to worry about. Just find that time for yourself, whether it has to be 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, whatever works for you.
Yeah.
And just make time to have that moment in the presence of God in prayer, just being completely honest. And if that's you, then you say, God, I am stressed out. God, I am overwhelmed. God, I am just completely drained. God, I am not okay. I need you. I need your help. I need support. Can you help me help? Whatever it is that you need, you just let it come out and be 100% honest, and it will be okay. Yeah. And that right there, being honest with ourselves and honest with God, is something that we don't do very well very often. So even though we're by ourselves, even though nobody's listening, even though nobody else is recording what's going on, we still tend to just turn it into this, well, I know I could be doing better. You know, I know I'm not checking all the boxes like I should. You know, we come to God and we're kind of like with this false humility, like pleading our case before. Don't do that. Just be honest. Like God knows where you're at. You need to be convinced that he can help you.
Yeah.
And so prayer doesn't change God. Prayer helps us connect with God, and really makes us come to the understanding that we are in need of something more. So take that time. You know, if your dad, encourage your kids to do it if they need it. You know, pray if you need to, pray with your husband if he doesn't know what to do. If you're a husband, pray with your wife if she doesn't know what to do and you do. Like, be a support for each other in that way. And when you guys are in prayer, you're not obligated to fix anything for anyone. Yeah. You're not obligated to make it better or to change it. What you're doing is you're setting the ground and paving the way for him or her to be able to be in God's presence, be completely honest, and be okay with not being okay, being okay with not having all the answers. And that in and of itself can be a gift. Yeah, because in the presence of God, when we are humbled by not knowing, when we are humbled by not understanding, when we are humbled by just being drained of energy and just tired, God in his perfect love comes in and gives us what we need. God, his strength is made perfect in our weakness. His perfect love casts out all fear. Yeah. You know, he takes away worry, takes away stress, he takes away doubt, he takes away confusion. And those are the things that he can do when we bring it to him. Yeah. And it's almost like the Bible talks about exchanging beauty for ashes, you know, and so he takes those negative things from us and replaces it with something positive. But that's our part. Right? That's our part to do, to come to him and give him that opportunity to be that and do that in our lives. Yeah. I just can't stress enough how important that moment is of just complete honesty in the presence of God.
Yeah. So no matter what happens this week, guys, no matter what comes your way this week, no matter what challenges you seem to be in front of, or, you know, what the social media brings out, or what you hear or what you don't hear, just do that. When you have the moment and you can't, lean on him. Trust not in what you understand, but just trust in his love for you. All right, guys. So we're going to say a prayer. You want to say a prayer? Okay. God, we just come before you, and we thank you more than anything for just allowing us to be here today, allowing our friends to be here today, listening. I just ask that wherever they're at in this moment, my Lord, that you just reach in their heart and you just take away just all anxiety, all stress, all fear of what's to come or what's going on in their lives. I ask that you just be able to give them the peace that they need to just know, Lord, that you love them, just to know that you care, know that you're setting the way, my Lord, and you're paving the way for a great future for them, for a future with hope, a future with possibilities. I ask that in this moment, my Lord, if they're having a hard time, I ask that they be able to find you in the quietness, that they be able to feel comforted by you, that your peace may be able to overfill their home, their hearts, their minds. Take away anything that is not of you, my Lord, that's causing them to be able to just pull away from you. Yes. Allow them to be close to you, not only in love, Lord, but in peace. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen. All right, GFL fam, thanks for your time. We love you guys.
Bye, God bless. Guys.